Hey everybody, welcome to the channel. This video is entitled Creating and Using Macros in Roll20, and this is for those who either are new to using macros in Roll20 or don't completely understand it. We're going to go over how to implement it in your game. Now, it doesn't matter whether you create the macros. If you create a macro as a player, you're the only one that's going to see your macros. A DM can create a macro and make everybody else see it, but you as a player would not be able to share it with everybody else. These are your own private macros. And so it's pretty simple. All you're going to do is you're going to click on the collections, and the macros are at the top. There's also decks and rollable tables down below. And there's so much, I have so many supplementals loaded. You're not going to see all this stuff. You may not have anything in here. So you simply click add, and then here's your macro, right? And then in the description of every every video, I put the macro, which is right here. And then I put up here, good for any ranged weapon. Replace the name, damage type, and dice if necessary. Replace Zrager with the name of your player. So I suggest copying this, right? And then paste it into Notepad or WordPad or something else. And then just come up here and hit Control H, and you're going to replace Skeeky, in this case, Zrager or Skeeky, it doesn't matter what name is in the macro, you're going to replace it. So you're going to find Skeeky, and you're going to place it with your name. And then you just hit replace all, and at every instance right here, 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 and here. So it changed them all. You don't have to, now I'm going to change them back or it won't work. Your name, and then change it back to Skeeky. Replace all. Okay, so if you look at the video, it'll explain how to use this. You change the weapon name if you want to use something different, the damage amount if necessary, all that kind of stuff. But what all you're going to do is now you're just going to copy this macro, and you're going to go over here. You're going to paste it right here, and we're going to name this longbow. And you can test it if you want, and it works correctly. And then you save changes. And then when you save your collection, now I gotta find it, but yours would be right at the top because there wouldn't be a whole bunch of other stuff. So I'm gonna go to longbow, and then I'm gonna click in bar, and it puts it down here on the bottom. And so if I'm playing and I want to use my longbow, I can just click longbow. I don't have to have my character sheet open. I don't have to click on my character, anything like that. So that's how you put it on the bar. The other option is to, if you go to longbow, you click here, you can click show as token action right here. And then what that means is that when you click on your token, then it shows up here. Now a lot of these are because as a DM I create macros, and my macros I can show them to everybody. So all these critical, direction, fumble, healing, initiative, saving throws, kill check are ones that the DM has created and everybody can see them. But you, to begin with, wouldn't have anything up there other than that. So it's your choice whether you want to do token action and click on your character, or put it on the bar and you don't have to click on your character. It does the same exact thing. It doesn't make any difference. Now, one thing to note is that a lot of times in the macros, you see something like this, where it says, instead of Skeeky, it says selected, 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 selected. In this case, you don't have to find and replace these, because this would be, so let's do this. This would be Skeeky and then selected. Okay. So now the macro might look like this, like the one I just showed. So then if you copy this, and we're just going to create a new one, and we'll paste it in here, and we're just going to call it AAA, so it's at the top. And I save changes, and I put it in bar. Okay, now this is not going to work because if I click it, I get an error. You attempted to use a roll command looking for the value of the selected token. So if the macro is has selected, in it. Instead of a name, you have to be clicked on a character. Now, it doesn't make any difference whether you put this as token action. If you put it as token action, then you have to click. If I take it out of the bar and do a token action instead, show it as token action, save changes, then I won't see it in my bar. I actually have to click somebody's token to use it up here. I think we call it, yeah, AAA right there. So then you can use it when it's up there if you are clicked on the selected person. So that's the difference between those two. So let's do one more. Let's do the firebolt spell. So again, you're going to copy this, come into Notepad. This is it. You're going to replace, in this case, Kiara right here with whatever name you want. Save it, copy it. We're going to come over here. We're going to add. We're going to paste it in here, and we're going to call this Firebolt. Now, one note on the name is you cannot have spaces in the name or it'll break. So if you type a space in, it'll automatically put a dash. That has to be there. So if you don't want it there, then you have to just do it like this, Firebolt. But just as long as you don't have spaces. And the way we discovered this is that when I did macros, I named them, because I create a macro sheet for each of my players, and then they can just copy and paste their macros. Well, they were copying this, the name, and it has a space in it. So then it wasn't working. We couldn't figure out why. But so you can't actually put a space. It'll put dashes in for you. So we're going to save changes. We're going to come over here, and we're going to find Firebolt right there. And we're going to put it in the bar. And so if I want to cast that whenever I want, I just cast it, and there's the macro. Now, if you have multiple buttons down here, let's go over here and let's just click a bunch. Now you can run off the side of the screen. You only get one bar. You don't have more than one bar, but you can be off the side. And then when you hover over this, you can scroll back and forth if you want to. But it's better to have as short of names as possible, or even abbreviations, so that you get as many buttons on here as you can. Obviously, look at the real estate these take when there's long names. So name them short. And then these can be moved around like this. If you hover over the little gray part, and then you can move them. You can right click on them, and you can change the color to anything you want. Maybe like attacks or like spells or whatever, you can color them however you want. So that's how you do macros. So you either have it on your bar or you have it as a token action. Token actions have to be selected. The bar doesn't, unless the macro is a selected character, not a named character. So that's all there is to it. It's really quite simple. You can have as many macros as you want. It's very helpful when you have them down there. You don't have to open your character sheet or anything. You just click it and run. So hopefully that helped you get started or give you a little bit better understanding. If you have any questions, let me know in the comments. If you have any particular macros you'd like to see, let me know. Share and like and subscribe. And I appreciate you watching. We'll see you on the next one.